Looking for a smart investment opportunity? This stylish one-bedroom apartment in Prime Lekki is your chance to earn 16 to 20 million naira annually in passive income. Yes, you heard me right. With an attractive vacation rental market, you can capitalize on consistent bookings and a strong demand for travelers year-round. Nestled in one of Lekki's most desirable areas, this apartment is close to vibrant cafes, beaches, and top attractions. Most apartments have already been sold, fewer than 8 remain, making this an exclusive opportunity you don't want to miss. This investment allows you to maintain ties with your roots if you live abroad, while still benefiting from owning property in Nigeria. Plus, property management services are available, making it easy to oversee your investment without hassle. Secure this reliable income stream today, while also enjoying personal use during visits home. Invest in your future now. Contact us to learn more.
Welcome to Minibar, unveiling Nigeria's entrepreneurial spirit, one story at a time. Feel the pulse of Nigerian creativity, where dreams flourish and the nation thrive.
This is Made in Nigeria, inspired by Africa, Minibar, with your hosts Senami and Akinfemi Onadele, the nation building and entrepreneurship podcast spotlighting the voices shaping our future, one bold story at a time. He is no stranger to the mic. Sometimes the truth is too deep for headlines, so we find it in stories. Welcome to a conversation that doesn't just inspire, but insists you build something, anything, with your hands, words, or your heart. Who is Uncle Cash? He's no stranger to this mic. Uncle Cash is a literary architect, cultural guru, community builder. His words aren't just written, they walk. As of this recording, he's authored over 109 books. Wow! That's not just output, that's legacy. Fast forward, that same boy is now a man, writing in New York, thinking in Yoruba, teaching in classrooms, but learning from the street. He isn't just telling stories, he's remembering who he is. But the more he wrote about America, the more Nigeria whispered. So he returned, not for applause, but for alignment, to write the village into the future. At the Lagos Book and Art Festival on November 15, 2023, he declared it plainly: we will not change Nigeria through the people in power. We will change it through story, through the youth, through each other. This season, we climbed Kilimanjaro with Aisha Raji, got our hands doughy with Fadikemi Onadele, decoded Nigerians' miseducation with Larry, and went underground with Jeremiah in the light crisis. Each guest a beam in the structure we are building. So, Uncle Cash, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling Niger. This time, atmosphere is cooler, even though on the outside, a lot of people are complaining about the dollar. Even the Yalata complaining about the dollar.
I really think we need to emphasize on these guys. Do you know that Uncle Cash has written over 109 books? Are you guys aware? So, that brings me to your literary evolution question. How have you've transitioned from poetry to fiction, drama, and now a unique genre that you describe as telling a story on culture, right? So, how's the journey been for you as a writer, and how have you evolved? Like, what draws you to explore this whole new intersection of history, social events, and How do you work it out? So tell us.
Okay, so I actually started off telling stories and picking settings in New York, in Chicago, because either I worked there, I've been there before, or even Detroit, right? And I'm asking myself, what in my identity is feeding that?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Nigerian American, that's okay. But I am first a Nigerian before I'm an American. Yeah. So, am I telling the story for Americans, or am I telling stories for a collective, a community, or a culture in Nigeria? I mean, so who am I? So this happened. I wrote one which I called Troubles, which was based in somebody who left Louisiana and, you know, running from a lot of trouble and got better, whatever, ended up, you know, in Chicago or somewhere like that. I wrote another lover story in Chicago, I actually call it Chicago Mute Brief. You know, it was a cult drama and all that. And after I did about 4 that were New York, Chicago, Detroit, I started asking myself, why am I writing for that culture? Where is my identity locked in that culture? Why am I not telling the tales of Africa? Why am I not telling the tales of Nigeria? Why am I not telling the tales of Yoruba? Why not? So, but the good thing was, even though I wrote in those places, I always had an African protagonist, right? But I thought I needed to start bringing my setting back home. And I needed to start owning it with whatever it is, right? I'm not saying it was easy, and I still think I missed some things, right? One of the reviewers of one of my books said, Cash is Harvard or something like that. Well, I never went to Harvard, but but I think what he's trying to say is that the Western influences, and I'm not mad about that. I don't know the critic personally. You know, they're writing an independent opinion of my work, but I think I've spent 25 so years abroad. Something Western is going to be there, but I can live with 10% Western and you know, 90% Nigerian character names, Nigerian setting. The one I'm writing right now is in Edo State. I served at Ekwuma. So all these places I went as a young person, I'm bringing.
Have you done anything in London? Because you used to live in London at some point.
Yes, I actually wrote Whistleblower of Black London.
Okay.
So even from the title, you could know that what I tried to do is I researched history, and I found that in history, I fictionalized history in the book, but I found that in history, there was a man called Granville Sharp, who you hardly heard fought for freedom, okay? Fought for end of slave trade. Yes, most people were taught William Wilberforce. William Wilberforce was a late comer in the game. So I did a heavy research into history, where he was born and all his family and all of that. And I then started to fictionalize this story because I also realized that in the path of his being successful, he actually relied on some relationship with some black people, and that influenced his balance of views, right? He actually relied on them. He was taught by them. There was a particular guy who became his herbalist, a guy that came from Oyo, because he had asthma, and in 17 something to 18 something, which is the 18th century crossover, which is when he lived, there was no cure for asthma. But that guy would make concussions that will keep him, without episodes for protracted length of time. So that guy actually kept the guy who was fighting this slave end battle alive, right? So they influenced him. They influenced his belief. He was the son of a priest, and then he was performing Ifa rituals because the person who was his herbalist was an Oyo boy who his father was an Ifa priest, and was teaching him all this, right? And nobody ever mentioned that Africans were part of the solution, to the end of the slave trade. So they influenced him. They did everything for him. In fact, the guy who was his herbalist married a woman who took him in, gave him free accommodation when he just arrived in England. When he just arrived in London, because his family came from a different place.
And that became the basis of a character that
I just created different things around the characters. I just fleshed the characters out.
We got curious and wanted to know about his inspiration, because reading from an article, we saw something about him getting inspiration from spiritual forces outside the earth realm, right? And he shared this.
And I know a lot of people can feel that it's fabricated, but it is true. Because if you look, I have cataloged 2,700 poems, right? And I did those in 5 years. I actually get inspiration from the deities. I get inspired. I can sleep and words will flow in.
Wow.
And my job is to take those words, to mature them, to improve them, to add cadence, to add rhythm, to research how they treat a topic, to make a theme out of it. Because they're scattered words, but they are given to me, sometimes in my dream. I literally wake up and my bedroom and my table is like 7 feet away. I literally wake up in a stumble to sit at my table and I put those things down. Because if I don't, it's gone. All right? So, that went on for about 5 years. But not necessarily the same set of inspiration with, the depth is not the same with prose. I worked hard on prose. But I don't write prose that are without poetry. I put poetry in the prose. You get this? Right. So the 5 years has built my muscles in poetry. So now I started prose. I study human behavior. I study human exchanges. Sometimes I see a video, it sparks something. Sometimes somebody says something, is a title, and I put the title down. And one day I sleep and something tells me, why didn't you do something with this title like this? Now, I may end up doing something else, but it puts me back on that title. I put it as one of the 4. I put my idea down and I keep changing it until I get to where I think. The only thing that is central, 3 things. I will talk about, in any story I tell, there will be politics. In any sort of way, there will be questions of humanity, right? Or our humanity, and there will be romance, right? Except when it's for children.
Then the conversation shifted into politics, which he mentioned earlier though. He talked about delving into politics in the future, majorly writing about governance. I wonder how he plans on transitioning into this. Are you curious? Let's hear from him.
So my own is, I don't believe in writing direct attack on any government, right? No matter how much I don't approve of them. And I've said this on Ruben Abati's program a few days ago. That is, power knows the truth. The question is whether power wants to walk the truth. So the best thing is to improve the minds of the people who can influence the next generation that wants to come into power. We cannot do anything with these people who are there now. whether you label them different names, corrupt, riggers, thugs, whatever they are, that is what we've got right now. But we need to start working on the youth so that the youth can write enough literature to influence people, because that's the job of literature. Entertain, inform, influence. That's it. I mean,
Powerful.
Yeah.
Entertain, inform, influence.
yeah.
What do you think? I mean, last year we kind of spoke about the writing and culture as like artists, entrepreneurs. Now, from this point going forward, I mean, it's pretty much 2024. What's it going to take for people to make successful entrepreneurs out of this field? Yeah.
I can predict, and it might not happen like that because I'm not an oracle, but this is what I would say. It is easier to conquer small hills than Mount Everest.
Okay.
I think the focus needs to be on a lot of short pieces and an encouragement of people or young people to get into writing short stories, very short stories, and then maybe graduate into novellas, right? Things like 2,500 words, let us encourage them. Let us create literature prizes around them. Let us, and I've started that because I went to Loyola College, my alma mater, and I've created an Aye Koto Youth Literature Prize.
That's wonderful.
And as an endowment, and all the books I sell is going towards that today
awesome.
And tomorrow. To try and make sure that both teachers of Yoruba and English literature and the students who perform well at them, or whether it's through a contest or through class examination or whatever it is, those people get recognized and awarded every year.
Honestly, that was going to be one of the last remarks we were going to make. Just what you've done at your alma mater. You actually went there, right?
Yeah, I traveled
It's
down
in Ibadan, right?
It is in Ibadan, Loyola College, Ibadan.
Man, you've been busy. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking when I was preparing to talk to you, like, should I call Uncle Cash an entrepreneur? Because I don't feel you ever call yourself an entrepreneur, but you have the hustle, man. If you decide to call yourself that right now, nobody will say, I don't do that. Because it's a serious hustle, man.
Yeah, I mean, I could do better as an entrepreneur, but I think if there is something called peoplepreneur or youthpreneur, I think I want that to be my legacy.
We might have to use that. So that might be a thing. And you heard it here first, people. Youthpreneurs. So that's a new. We just created because we have we have youthpreneur now. We have artpreneurs. So here you go, guys. If you're trying to be a youthpreneur, we welcome you.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I want to invest. I want my legacy to be investment in youth, improving their literary ability, capability, and capacities. And I'm hoping that I can work out some partnership arrangement down here in coming years to create masterclasses that are focused on different genres and just give them what I've created, what I've learned and failed at, and what has come out of experience, been born out of experiences, and hope it helps them.
I think you're so timely because, shout out to Uncle Jones, who is also supporting your younger brother, also my uncle.
Yeah.
And he sent me a video when he was in the States some months back. There was a podcast actually with Pastor Samade Emi, and he said the problem with a lot of leaders is they are trying to be at the front where they need to step back and be coaches. And what I like about what you're saying is that you're ready to be a coach.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
You're not trying to be. Do you understand? And it's very. So I'm hoping a lot of us. And it's not about age, it's just even about experience and stuff. I'm hoping a lot of us can kind of just check our careers and our journeys and just kind of see, okay, am I supposed to be a coach or am I supposed to be leading the way, so we can just kind of align. But I love the fact that you are so on point. Everything you say is like quotable. I'm so glad that we are recording, because when I was trying to take notes, my fingers almost broke. So I'm glad I'm using this tool to capture everything.
What's the best Nigerian movie he's watched?
The best.
Yes.
In recent times?
Yeah.
Should we come back to it?
I kind of lie. I'm disappointed about even the ones that they call, you know, I mean, each time something comes out, they tell me to go and look at it, this, that.
Yeah, you're
and
feeling
people are, no, I'm not feeling it. There are too many holes in the gaps. Blood sisters. There are too many.
Oh, there were many holes in
extremes.
Blood Sisters.
You know, there are just too many. Daddy too. I hate Daddy something too. King of Boys. I mean, they were talking as if they are coming out of textbooks. What's the meaning of that? That last one that
have you seen the Madam
Abudu did.
No,
I mean, it's just like they copied Wale Soyinka's book and made it a script. The guy wrote a book. It's their job to convert it to something that entertains. You know.
So you let you with your friends in a second. So
yeah.
you're not feeling any. Okay.
No,
Even of old, was there anyone? What's a classic for you?
Classic.
Anyone like Nigeria movie?
Yeah, some Ogun days, you know, were classic for me. Yeah.
Okay.
And they still reverberate in my mind. And with one of them, actually, I'm thinking I could come up with a series. He sang a song that became
from the
something.
movie.
Yeah, Igbe Okan, you know, the conscience,
right.
and something like that. So if you look back on some of those, I mean, Nigerians have talents, but it appears to me that we're doing rough cut film productions.
They need to learn how to close all windows.
They need to learn how to write good
I was
scripts.
listening, yeah.
They need to write good scripts.
Nigerians are best at.
Nigerians are best at absurdities. We're best at absurdities. We do things absurd. I mean,
let's keep going because I feel like we use
absurdities.
The Nigeria of his dream is.
Where we all collectively choose to do things right and do not focus on ourselves but on community rather than individuals, and stop praising people who steal money. Stop giving them titles. And let those who call themselves Christians and Muslims stop taking the native titles. If you don't want to worship Ogun, don't go there and become the Oba. It doesn't make sense. Why is a pastor an Oba and he will say, I will do this sacrifice, I will not do this sacrifice? I don't see a reason why they should go there. And you know what? There is nothing wrong with people being Christians. There's nothing wrong with people being Muslims, but they should just stay away from royal titles.
Okay. His best Nigerian dish is
amala, ewedu, gbegiri with goat meat.
Bam. Every Nigerian needs to start
thinking of their neighbors.
Okay, perfect. Best decision he's made this year.
Establishing the Youth in Literature Prize.
His favorite spot to chill in Nigeria is
Freedom Park.
Like Freedom.
I think it's got a literary atmosphere. Programs can be improved, but yeah, I feel at home here.
And we are here, so shout out Freedom Park.
Who is the Nigerian role model he respects a lot?
Nigerian role model. Tunde Idiagbon. Yeah, he started war against indiscipline. I think we should go back to it for about a period of while he was second in command or something. Nigerians behave like Nigerians should behave normally.
Okay, so
because right now we are behaving abnormally.
If he was president, he would.
I will use will, because definitely I will do it. Okay? I will make sure that since independence, every single person who has stolen money from this government, it is purged from them, their children and their children's children, and be spent on infrastructure development of this country.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I think that's the perfect last question for
That's the most legendary one-liner I've had in 2 seasons.
telling you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Uncle.
you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
Guys, if you want to catch this episode, follow us on @IAM_minibar. To everyone who donated to the Makoko Support Fund, we see you. To our loyal listeners and the team behind the dream, thank you. You carried us. Our old page may have been taken down, but like phoenixes, we rise. Follow us now at I_am_minibar and subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel at minibar1020. In this off season, we are not just resting, we're rising. We'll be recording new episodes and also releasing our first book. What kind of preneur are you? Podpreneur? Foodpreneur? Propreneur? You decide it. Finally, we'll be launching the I Am Minibar campaign. You do not want to miss that. So stay tuned and participate.
As we wrap up this episode, remember, the horizon is endless. Keep exploring, keep growing, and keep listening to Minibar, where every dream nurtured is a step towards building the Nigeria of our dreams.